we have the association. We call it Eastern Medical Association. So I'm the one of the founders. We founded in 1994. Now I'm more focused on the spiritual, physical, and our mind, our heart, cultivation in how to make our life better. And I found Lao Zi, wonderful teacher, and he wrote the Tao Te Ching, 81 chapters, and 5,000.
You put 80 there.
We already did 80. The reason, because I've been sharing this information within Chinese class for almost 8 years, and so reach 80, chapter 80. Every month, one chapter. So the last 2 chapters going to be trial period for see what I'm going to towards. Okay, so we're going to start chapter 1 again, and the more focus on how to make our spiritual body, physical body, and the mind balance, harmonize, because people don't know how to take care of the world, don't know how to take care of our physical bodies anymore. So we need to bring that our ancient masters sharing their wisdom to give us the idea how do we restore our mind, physical, and spiritual balance. So we're going to do ascending our spiritual practice in the future. Hopefully everyone enjoy and participate, spiritually support this group. Bring your friends, bring someone you think that really want to cultivate in our spiritual portion. The first character in today's chapter is called small. Okay, small not means the things small. That means the physical part is small, but the spiritual part can be very big. Like even one cell, one atom, one particle can include the entire universe. So when we say the small country in today's chapter, what does that mean? Because we go back to the history a little bit. 2,500 years ago, 2,600 years ago, that's the Chinese spiritual practice in that time is booming. The reason is because during that time, the warring states in China, country fighting with country, and Lao Zi, he saw people suffering, and he trying to put his idea, helping people to get rid of the suffering during that time. So he wrote the Lao Zi Tao Te Ching, 5,000 characters, separated to 81 chapters. Today we reach chapter 80. It's a wonderful chapter talking about the ideal country. Also we can call ideal world. Because we know in this world, too complicated, right? And if everything gets too complicated, hard to dealing with. So Lao Zi, he trying to restore the original ideas how to dealing with our complication in this world. He said, if we manage one country, small country, like I only have 6-7 people, easier to manage because I can directly to talk to you and I can share my ideas. But if the country have 80, then that's kind of a little bit difficult. If it's 800 or 8,000, very difficult dealing with, right? We started with something, started with small So today's the first character is called small. Small country, small company, or small something, easier to manage. That's the key words, the small. He said even we have a 10 times 100, 1000, that's 10 and 100. We know 10 times 100 is 1,000. Do we need 1,000? We don't need 1,000 tools. We only need one tool. One tool, I can manage everything. So the rest of the 999 tools, I don't need it. We just put it aside, right? Even we said we understand the people, let them to pay attention on death of the people. People pay attention on their living life, not pay attention on the death life. You know why? Because they don't know what after death, what is going to happen. But if we believe in reincarnation, we believe the cause effect. We know it's not so simple thing. We need to pay more attention on our death, right? Because death is the most important part we need to dealing with. Not just go to the graveyard, then that's it. We know it's not so simple. Lao Tzu is trying to bring the ideas. We need to pay more attention to death, not just living time, and this after the living time. So that's why he put the death in there. And don't shift away from death. What does that mean? Don't shift away too far from the hometown. That means don't shift away from our true self, our true mind. If we shift away from that, we're going to miss the target. We are going to looking for the material things or something like that. But this one, more attention one we paid is to pay attention on what are our spiritual part. In this way, he keep using some metaphors to explain the material thing. Like a car or a boat. Actually, nowadays, if I don't use I can use the public transportation. I don't need to use the car. I can just sit home. If I needed to order something, I just go online and order the camera or order a pen or something, eBay or Amazon. Very easy. They send it to my mailbox or to my front door. So actually I don't need to spend a lot of energy to dealing with the boat or the cars. Why we need to shift far away than to get things? We can just sit there to manage a lot of things, right? So the army or the police force, what is that for? That's to keep the society safe, keep our environment safe. But if everybody knows how to manage it ourselves very well, we don't need a police, we don't need the army, right? The army, if we have the wrong ideas, to use army to conquer some place, want to take a benefit from other people, then that's a different story. But if we have a different idea, everyone taking care of ourselves very well, why we need the army for? Why we need the police for? The reason because we shift away from our beautiful mind, our good mind, our good soul. That's why we need more and more army. We need more and more policemen, right? So that's what unfortunate situation we are facing. So Lao Tzu trying to keep going to more understand to reach the higher goal, our spiritual part. So he said, this way we go back to the simple life. For instance, he said go to use the rope to make knots on the rope. You know what that means? If I draw a picture, then you know, very interesting. Just kind of example. If I owe you $100, I draw a line about a 10 centimeter or something like that, put the one here, and I make a mark or something like that, I owe you $100. Then I remember that. That's use the rope to remember things. That's the original people to recording whatever their daily lives. And then the other one put a 2, other thing, 3 is other thing. And look at this. Does that look like this? What's that? That's just like our computer, 0 and 1, right? Actually, in our world now, everyone dealing with things use computer or a cell phone. They all build up from the 0 and 1, this system, right? 2-digit system. Then they make everything so convenient. So actually the simpler things managing our complicated world, managing our complicated lives. The true wisdom is come from the simplicity. It's not come from the complications. We need to purify ourselves, and then we have the wisdom. If we think too complicated, our life is going to be miserable. Like when I dealing with my life, dealing my physical body, I try to do as simple as possible. That's why I don't try not eat much. I try not to see doctors. I try to dealing things myself. Although my example now can be immediately become your example. For instance, a lot of people suffering the stomach acid reflection or something like that. I told my wife, I said, how come lately I have the stomach upset after dinner or something like that, and been for a while, then I started realize this is not a the good symptom. I need to dealing with it. And my wife said, you eat it too much, sit there not doing anything, so that's why you have this trouble. And then I reflect myself. I say, that's probably it, because our body don't need that much food. Then we put too much work for the stomach. So then, you know what? Then I started to cut down my dinner. I said, I don't eat dinner. See what's gonna go happen. Then you know what? Healed. No problem anymore. No reflex anymore. Only for a month, it's get better. Then look at my body. I've only eaten breakfast and lunch. That's probably within 4 or 5 hours. I eat 2 meals, 2 very nice meals. After that, the entire afternoon, the night, and then till next morning, almost 20 hours, I let the body rest, right? And all the internal organs not doing the work. So even my kidney, even my liver, not working so hard anymore. So even the urine amount get less. That's why all those cultivators in the Buddhism or Taoism, they don't eat dinner. Particularly people nowadays eat too much. We lost the balance. We didn't balance our body good anymore. We need to learn the wisdom not learn the medicine. Wife and I, we have the background in the medicine for many years, reconsidering how to go back to the ancient wisdom that dealing our lives, our body. So he gave it four indications to our life. We are eating all the additives, right? Seasoning. We are not eating the original taste. The original taste is supposed to be sweet, original, beautiful, right? We should go back to that original taste, not the additive taste. The second is beauty, just like I said. The beauty is not what I wear. The beauty is I feel is so close to what I wear. Just like I said, I only 2 pairs clothes. When I come to meet you, I wear the little bit better one. When I go home, I wear the kind of the one I everyday using, right? So I will feel comfortable. I feel, the most beautiful part of that. Unless I really need to see a very important person or have an important meeting, I will put on my tie or something like that. And even that, I only have one suit, 2 suit, pass. I don't need to buy a lot. But I think that's enough for, in my life. The third one, like where we are living, I feel what I have there, my sofa, my bed, even my sofa, I get that from my sister many years ago. I feel it's so light, very easy, I like that, just use that for the rest of my life if I can. I don't need to buy a new one. Fourth one, I enjoy the customs. I enjoy the people's, what they're like. And I try to enjoy it together. And we don't want to make the world too complicated. So that's what these 4 things I would like you remember today, at least, okay? And in this way, even my neighbor country, my neighborhood, I know them very well, but I don't need physically to touch them, right? I only need a phone call or Facebook. We connect to each other. So that's what I heard the rooster, hear the dog barking. My neighbors, I know what's going on in their house. But even we have this kind of activity until our death day, we don't need to physically contact each other, but we know each other so well. Just like we can contact the spiritual world, we know them there. I know Buddha, I know God, I know whomever mastering us. We know them so well, but I don't need to physically touch them, but my mind entangled with them, right? When my life become so beautiful, why I needed to make this world so complicated. So the first half hour almost reached there. So I just wanted to, we can all sharing whatever we are thinking about today's subject.